What's going on, guys? Brad here from bradscottvisuals.com. Today I'm really excited to test out the new ArtResin epoxy resin. So I'm going to be coating two of my fine art canvas prints here. One is of Bonsai Rock in Lake Tahoe, and the other one is of the Slot Canyons, one called Sands of Time, one of my newest releases. So we're going to mix it all up, get going. This is ArtResin's new formula, so it's a 1 part epoxy resin, 1 part hardener, so it's very easy to measure out and mix. And it's a new formula that is non-toxic, so you don't have to wear a respirator like a lot of the other epoxy resins, which is really nice because I've used those in the past and they stink up the whole house. They give you a headache, and I kind of have a little cold going on right now. I don't know if you can notice. Got a stuffy nose. So it's going to be really nice to work with, and it's extremely hard once it's cured. And it's also perfectly clear. There's no tint, no yellowish tint to it, no cloudiness, and the bubbles pop by themselves apparently. I've got a propane torch that I'm going to use either way just because I'm used to it. Make sure that the surface is perfectly clear, perfectly flawless, no air bubbles. So I'm going to get over to the workstation, mix this stuff up, and show you the whole process. Okay, so I've got the starter kit from ArtResin.com. This is enough to cover a 8 square foot surface. Both of my prints are 16 by 24 inch. So I'm just going to use a little over half of this. So I'm going to mix 1-to-1 ratio. Part A is the resin, part B is the hardener. I also picked up the little kit they have on there. You get a stirring stick, some scrapers, and some gloves. Nice and convenient. And I'm just going to mix it into, I'm going to pour it into these cups first, and then I'm going to mix both of them into this big one and stir it for about 3 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to put on these gloves. This stuff, once it hardens up, it's like hard as a rock, so you don't want to get it on your hands. But like I said, this stuff is the non-toxic new formula, so it's going to be a lot nicer to work with. I'll let you know if it smells at all, but apparently it doesn't smell too bad. Not like the other stuff. Okay, so both these cups are the same size. We're just going to measure 1 part. Part A is going to be the resin. So we're going to open this up. And we're just going to mix. Just pour it out nice and slow. Let's see, one more. Okay, so that's part A. I used a little over half the bottle. It should be enough to cover it all. And you want to make sure you pour it into a cup first so it can get the air into it. That's perfect. And then you mix the two together. And it says on here that you want to combine both of them, mix together thoroughly for 3 minutes. It's got a 30-minute pot life, so you have 30 minutes to work with it. You're going to pour it over the artwork, spread it out, and then you let it sit for 24 hours, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to mix the two together in this big cup now, and then use the stirring stick to make sure that we have all of it. And this stuff cures really nice and hard. And it doesn't smell, it's sweet. I was expecting it to smell at least a little bit, and you can still smell a tiny little bit, but it's way less toxic smelling than the other stuff that you get at like Michael's Let's see. You just want to make sure you get everything out since we are mixing a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay. And I'm just going to mix it around. You want to keep mixing it around until it looks nice and clear, making sure you scrape all the edges of the cup. And you just want to make sure that it's all mixed in together. If you have any parts that are just left unmixed, it'll create a soft spot that won't cure right, so you just need to make sure it's all mixed up. Don't worry about making bubbles right now. They'll basically pop by themselves, and then if they don't pop, you either breathe on them or you use a flame like a heat gun or a flamethrower, propane torch, and that will cause the bubbles to pop faster. You want to make sure all of your artwork is leveled before you do this, so you have more time to work with it. If it's not level, you'll get one side that's thinner than the other. It'll just all run off, and you don't want that. You can see it's starting to get really nice and clear. You can see the bubbles in there, but those will pop once you spread it all around. Okay, so I'm just going to pour it straight on into the center, and I've got about a half of this cup, so I'm just going to eyeball that, making sure that both of them have an equal amount. Okay. Just going to pour it on there. Pour some on here. Pour some more over here. Okay, I'm just going to use the scraper to scrape the rest out. And they've made it so this has a 30-minute bucket life, so that gives you a nice amount of time to work with it. It feels about the consistency of honey right now. So I'm just going to put that in the center. So I'm just going to work on these individually now, and I'm just going to spread everything out, get it nice and close to the edge, and just keep working it. Really brings out the color in the image. It's really cool looking. So I want to try and get it nice and close to the edge, but make sure I'm not pushing too much of it off the edge of the picture. It'll start to fall over the edge eventually, but I want to try and get it to where it's just on the face. A little black bit in there. Let's get that out of there. So it's starting to get nice and close, and you just work it around towards the edge of the image. There we go. Spread it all around. And if it gets on the side of the picture, I like to have it go over the side of the picture, but if you don't want it to, you can just tape off the side of it, and that'll prevent it from going over to the side. I just think it gives it a nice look, a nice finished look to the side of the picture when you let it go over like that. And I'm not pushing down all the way to the picture. I'm just letting the scraper just kind of smooth over the top of it, and it's got like a nice thick consistency to it, so it's not going all the way over. So now I'm just going over the surface with a flame, and it pops all the bubbles. You can just see them popping, and it makes the surface perfectly even. You can just see all the bubbles popping. This is my favorite part. Pretty much like painting the side of the canvas just with my gloves, just saturating it with the resin. It doesn't need to be thick on the sides. Alright, so I double checked everything, hit it with the flame one more time. I'm going to go ahead and cover them and let them sit for a little while. I might come check in about 10 minutes to make sure everything is hardening okay, but so far it looks really good. If I get nice and close to it and look, there's no bubbles, it's perfectly clear. So I'm really happy with it so far. It looks awesome. So I'm gonna cover it and we'll check tomorrow to make sure they're all good. If they need another coat, if there's not enough, we can go ahead and do that. But it looks good so far. All right, so I've put the boxes over there, and I just put, they're open-ended boxes, so I just put the plastic on the sides of them. So I'm gonna let them sit for pretty much overnight, and then I'll check on them in the morning. And they should be rock solid, perfectly clear, no bubbles, should look pretty sweet. So I'll show you when they're done. All right, so they're all done and they look amazing. You can see it's got this nice glassy finish to it. This one is called Bonsai on Fire. It's a photo of Bonsai Rock in Lake Tahoe. It's on the north side of Lake Tahoe, one of my favorite spots. And then this one is called Sands of Time. This one just looks amazing. The colors are so cool. It's got pinks and purples and oranges. This one's in Antelope Canyon. So that's what the resin looks like once it's all cured. Let me get some close-up shots here. Focusing on that. It's just got this really cool shiny texture to it. Let's check this one out up close. It looks like you're there in real life when you look up close. I shot these photos with my Nikon D810, and it's a 36 megapixel sensor, so the clarity and detail is just insane. But if you would like to purchase any of these prints, just go ahead and check out my website, bradscottvisuals.com. And also, you can send me an email at bradsplanet@gmail.com. I'll put those links in the description below. But that's how you resin images with ArtResin. I highly recommend their product. It turned out amazing. Super clear, super hard, and it protects your images for a long, long time. As well, it gives you that just really cool glassy look and finish to the art. Super impressed.